Hello everyone, my name is Felix. I'm principal at Ananda Impact Ventures. We are an early stage fund for startups that solve or address social or ecological problems with their business model. And today next to me I'm sitting here with Viktor Gauk, CFO of OroraTech, one of our portfolio companies. So welcome, Viktor.
Thank you, Felix.
And you have heard that before. We will stay in the topic of climate change adaptation. You've just heard about floods and water, and before that already about wildfires. And within that topic we will stay for now. And wildfires, it's not only a problem of adapting to climate change, but it's also a huge emitter of GHG emissions. So last year, you have probably seen the devastating fires in Chile, in Canada, in Greece, and the fires in Canada alone have emitted 2.2 billion tons of CO2. That's 3 times, alone these fires are 3 times the amount of emissions that Canada has in a usual year, which is crazy. So you see there, wildfires not only around it is cause and effect of climate change, and we need to deal with that. And one company that does that in a scalable and global way is OroraTech. And now I've said enough. So what are you guys actually doing?
Thanks, Felix, for the introduction. And yeah, what do? We provide a software as a service platform for a holistic wildfire management. So what does it mean? It starts with detection, it goes over monitoring, but it goes beyond that to a fire spread, fire propagation. To give you a little bit of the insight, what especially Felix mentioned before about the fires, I hope that works. That's how Canada looked like this year in June. So the fire was spread from all over the country, and that's where we come into a play, where traditional systems like sensors, like airplanes, cannot cope with a fully picture. And our holistic platform, which is fused with satellite-based thermal data, can give a holistic overview of the situation on the ground. And how are the company, or how does the customers benefit from that suite? So the customer is using the platform to understand where the fire is burning, then to decide based on different parameters like weather, like heat signature, like fire expansion, where to deploy the existing resources. So you can imagine the resources to extinguish the fires are scarce, so you need to decide not only which fire to extinguish, but also which fire not to extinguish. And one of our customers in Canada had 200 fires at the same time. Wow. That's very impressive, and they had really to decide where to allocate the resources and to have the full overview. And with that kind of monitoring dashboard, the fire manager, the operator, can really look into different parameters and decide where to act now. And this is also something that we as a VC found quite exciting, the holistic, like how holistic the solution is, that it can go from detection, earlier detection, over to management, over to propagation, to have really everything in one software for the customer and provide maximum value, maximum impact there. So what makes you unique there? So I'm going to show you on that picture. That's a combination of software analytics. As here you see, in this case, a grease with a fire spreading out over a period of 12 hours. And that's what we do inside with our about 30 data scientists and AI analysts, that we build these models on the one hand to give the firefighters the prediction where the fire is going to be within the next time. But on the same time, and that's where the secret sauce comes in, we fuse these models with our own proprietary data. So we analyze the market and identify that a true global solution needs to be space-based, and we developed in-house our own thermal camera, which has a size of about a shoebox. We now, since last year, start to deploy those cameras into space, which work 24/7 and deliver our own proprietary data into our own models. And we finally deliver an insight to the customer. He doesn't care what's in the background, but the full verticalization starting from the proprietary satellite source down to an analytics, which is finally a WhatsApp notification to the firefighter where he needs to go, the full solution for the customer within this sector. And
you mentioned customer quite some times now. Who is actually your customer?
Yeah. So there are different customer types. So there is the customer who is using it. So that's usually operational manager on the ground, but usually the customer who is buying the system can be a community, it can be a state or province, but now we are even negotiating with whole countries to deploy the system to world or for the whole country. And for example, in South America, we have private forestry companies serving 2 million, 3 million hectares of forest to preserve their own assets. They use our platform to monitor it and to take action.
And one thing, hearing about the customers in especially public areas, it's as a VC, or probably you in the audience as VCs, you are wondering, hey, is there any money in there? And we have wondered the same. So what is there any money in there?
Yes, there is indeed. And actually, just yesterday night we signed a contract with a Canadian customer actually of about 3.7 million. Which is a SaaS contract, and looking to other countries, another contract with 35 communities in South America is about 20 million. So that's where you are heading towards to when you speak about holistic solution for fire management, because the damages are way more severe if you don't use such kind of system.
Then quickly checking in with the staff here. There are two different clocks. One is 1 minute, one is 3 minutes left. How much time do we have? Okay, interesting. Good. Then we'll make that short. What else with the data that you have? That's also one thing that we were quite excited about as a VC, because it's thermal data, it's temperature data, it's not limited to wildfire. What else can you do with that?
So we started with the forestry sector because that's the most reasonable one. Now we are heading into energy infrastructure, power line monitoring, which are also affected, power grids. Going beyond that, we are also looking into an insurance sector where you have damage assessment after a fire, providing burned area to identify the damages, but then it goes beyond that, even into a climate sector where you look into urban heat to make the cities more climate resilient, and you look also into cases like sea surface temperature. So there's a whole bunch of different markets on the road.
Cool. And speaking of the road, or the road for the next 2 days, who do you wish to talk to? Who should approach you here?
So since I'm sitting with an investor, we are raising right now also our Series B. And happy to talk to investors who are really interested in the topic of fire, thermal, but also interested in climate.
With that, thanks a lot, Viktor. It was a pleasure. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Felix.